Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Path of Rage. I am your host, Rage8 Games, and this is our Star Citizen coverage for the previous week. This is going to be a short one, so let's get right into it. There's not a lot to talk about this week. It's been fairly quiet, with one major difference. 4.0 has now been pushed back on the roadmap from Q3 to the end of the year. Now, this is not surprising to me in the least, considering that 3.2.4, which is the patch before 4.0, has been in development now and the PTU for 2 months at this point, and it's still not completely fixed. Now, to be fair, they have been cranking out the new builds and the new bug fixes. They've been doing a lot of testing on the on the blockade runner mission, and that one is coming along. It still has some jankiness to it. There was a test today as of the recording of this video. I didn't find out about it till afterwards, so I can't tell you how that went, but this is, up to date. I record this episode the day before you guys actually hear it. So again, a new test was done on blockade runner, but the current PTU patch is where we're staying. Now, last week, roughly around Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, they were talking about this current patch going to live because they had it in a fairly stable build, but there were a couple outstanding issues that they were working on. And then they put out this build on Friday that we currently have right now, which is less stable overall is the experience that we're getting. And once again, we're waiting to see what the new patch will bring. It's close. They are getting there, but we can tell that CIG is trying to avoid a 3.18 repeat by putting this to live before it's quite ready. Again, one thing they did solve, I can point this out, is a bug that was for the cargo hauling missions, where you deliver all your cargo, but it would still tell you and stay on your screen forever that you had undelivered cargo, and the mission would end if you left the area and stuff like that, even though in your Mobiglass it said that you had completed the mission. They fixed that. Another one they did mention is that currently the night vision scopes are not working properly on anything but the 3x scope. You can't turn them on to use them for some reason, and a lot of people are not experiencing this because of how rare these are. They're drops on NPCs, but for right now, the night vision scopes only work properly on the 3x scopes, not the 1, the 2, the 4, the 8s. They can't be turned on properly right now, so they are looking into that. A couple of other things like that, but it's more back-end stuff that they're working on right now, getting the inventory management, the cargo elevators, the hauling missions themselves, everything up to speed, so that when it does hit live, it'll be at least a playable experience. But it is what it is. There's not a lot for me to report on that has been different from the last week, so moving on. Now, as for the roadmap roundup, like I said, 4.0 has been delayed to the end of the year. I saw this coming a month ago. This is CIG's MO. However, if it comes out by the end of the year, it comes out by the end of the year. I imagine that's going to screw up their plans for CitizenCon, but Alpha 3.24 is giving them a bit of trouble, like I said, so they're working on that. They're also adding mission locations will have the new repair feature. This is the engineering gameplay. Now, we mostly thought, because it came out in Arena Commander on a Hammerhead, that engineering gameplay would first appear on spaceships, but apparently no, it's going to appear at mission locations in the Pyro outposts. So people will be fixing wind turbines and relays and that kind of thing. That's where the first widespread use of engineering gameplay is going to come in, again, with 4.0. They also made a big deal about why it was taking so long to update the progress tracker, and now that it's been updated, they gave us this little spiel on what's going on, which I'll leave up in the background. It doesn't affect us that much. This is more for how it works on their end, how they're putting things on the tracker, more so than what we see or any real changes. I don't know why it took them this long to update it and tell us what's going on, but you know, it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Again, as always, this really doesn't affect us. Now, moving on to Inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live, as I usually cover each week, there was no Star Citizen Live this week, which I think is actually a letdown because, you know, here 4.0 has been pushed to the end of the year. You've got the progress tracker update that is apparently more behind the scenes than front facing. I think a Star Citizen Live would have been a good spot to explain all of that kind of stuff, but no, that was not there. Inside Star Citizen, however, was very, very interesting. I actually enjoyed the episode thoroughly. However, there's nothing for me to report to you here news-wise, because this episode was all focused on a single developer on the content art team that is responsible for a lot of the concept art and where the ships are now and locations or whatnot. This guy has done a lot of stuff in the industry outside of outside of CIG as well. But while it was a very interesting episode, there's nothing for me to tell you regarding the project. I highly recommend that you watch the episode. It is absolutely fascinating to hear somebody talk about how they come up with the art, how they work on a schedule to produce such vast amounts of art and whatnot. But again, nothing really for me to report regarding the state of the game. So I'll leave the link in the description below, and you guys should check it out for yourselves, seriously. Also, for those who are interested in it, there is currently the ship showdown going on the main site, where people can vote for their favorite ships. I personally don't care about the ship showdown. I want all the ships to function well and have their purpose in the game, and I'm not really concerned about which one is everyone's favorite right now. But if that's your bag, it's currently still ongoing, so make sure to get in there and put your vote in. And that is it for our Star Citizen news this week. Very short week, very condensed episode. Again, this has been a overall quiet week on the news front. It's just a lot of CIG with their heads down, knocking out bugs, putting out new builds, and us all jumping into the PTU and testing it and sending in issue council reports. Hopefully soon this will go to live and in a more stable state, and people can enjoy playing it without worrying about the constant resets that a new build brings. I'm looking forward to CitizenCon to see what they have to show us when it shows up in October, the end of October, and I can't wait for 4.0 to come out at the end of the year. Hopefully it stays on track for that. Until then, and until next week, that's been the news for Star Citizen. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Give me a thumbs up if you thought I did a nice quick summary for you. If not, give me a thumbs down. As always, sound off in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new. It helps me grow the channel, and I appreciate it. And until next time, I've been RayJack Games, and I'll see you in the verse. Bye-bye.